Hi, everyone. Welcome to Meant to Pause, the Menopause Series. My name is Kelly Coulter. I am the host, creator, and producer of this series. And today is a really, really big day for me, personally and professionally. I just want to say in advance, thank you so much to my guests for being here today. I am living the dream. Today we have with us Bryn and Tracey from, I don't even know how to describe this event, Menopolooza, which was held in Victoria, British Columbia, the first of its kind, I believe, in the country. And I was a part of the team. So thankfully, a part of such an awesome, awesome team of women and experts, and the participants were amazing. So I just want to say thank you for, I don't want to cry, but thank you for being here, because this really is, like, I think for all of us, it's kind of a dream coming true, right? And so if I could just, Bryn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm a registered counselor. I've been working in mental health for about 25 years.
Wow.
I'm a certified and trained Daring Way facilitator, which is the work and research based on the work of Dr. Bryn Brown.
Okay.
And I have a master's degree in healthcare leadership.
Wow.
So I am a healthcare leadership nerd, professional.
Yeah. I'm a nerd too.
Yeah.
I like to be a nerd. Tracey?
Hi. Kelly, this is fantastic. This is my first time doing a video podcast. So
Okay.
this is a brand new experience and it's awesome. So my name is Tracey Rodgers for now. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist and I've been practicing since 2002. And for most of my career, I did general obstetrics and gynecology. But in the last 2 years, my practice has been completely focused on the management of perimenopause and menopause. And that kind of came about because when I trained, the year I graduated was the year the Women's Health Initiative was published and menopause care sort of imploded.
Okay.
And I entered practice that way. So women were really afraid of hormones,
Right.
but struggling, and none of us really knew what to do.
I remember that.
So it was sort of like being thrown into it right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But I also hadn't gone through menopause. And our training around menopause is hit and miss. There was no program. So as I, over the years, listened to women's experience about it, the fears around hormones, what they were going through, and then when I went through it myself, that was a real wake up. And menopause care sort of became a passion of mine.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to have a bit of a shift in thinking around it, and it needs to sort of come out in the light a little bit more because women deserve better care than we're getting. So now I'm really happy to be in a place where I can focus all of my energy into hormone management and menopause.
Yeah.
And the reason I say hormone management is not just menopause. There's postpartum, there's PMS, and there's lots of hormonal issues throughout life.
Yes.
I also did the master's with Bryn. That's where I met Bryn. And
I want to hear that story.
Yeah.
I do want to hear that story. You guys are like
we intersect with our areas of interest. So it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, on you meeting and getting to become friends and colleagues, tell me about the inception of Menopolooza. Tell me about Menopolooza and how it started. Like, that's the story that I think needs to be replicated all over the world, basically. Like that event was so spectacular, right? So I don't know who wants to take.
Oh, that's Bryn.
Yeah.
Well, it started out. So Tracey and I, in our friendship, I'm on the mental health side, and then Tracey, physician,
Mm-hmm.
talked personally a lot about the intersection of hormone health, women's health, mental health.
Right.
And I started to see it more and more. I'm 48 years old, so I'm going through my own process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it with my friends, my colleagues, and my clients. Going along, doing wonderful at life, and then just, I'll use the word avalanche.
Mm.
The avalanche hits them. And looking after aging parent, yeah,
Question.
of course.
Do they know that the avalanche is either hitting them or that it's even coming?
That gives me
No.
goosebumps, Kelly. There's the feeling of being wronged,
Mm-hmm.
the betrayal, I will say, the betrayal. Why did no one tell me?
I can relate to that.
Yeah, why did no one tell me?
Particularly when you realize that 100% of women who live to see their 50s will go through menopause.
Mhm.
I spent astronomically more time training how to manage pregnancy, which
Mhm.
not all women will experience.
Mhm.
And menopause was something sort of treated like, well, it's just what women go through. We don't,
Oh, yeah.
but it's a lot more complicated than that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's 100% of us go through it, and we get caught without
Caught-
knowing what's coming.
Right when women are hitting their stride
Yeah.
professionally,
Mhm.
in their careers, in their life, feeling a sense of starting to know themselves.
Yeah.
They're looking after oftentimes kids and aging parents.
Aging parents.
And then it again hits them, and then the stress resilience tanks.
Yeah.
And so I was seeing this, and Tracey and I again talk about it a lot. And it actually, Menopolooza started as a bit of a joke.
Oh,
It
how?
started. It was the idea, like the Gen X, generation. We've had to kind of
Mhm,
cobble together.
mhm,
We were feral,
Mhm.
raised on Judy
Left to
Blume,
our own devices.
Golden Girls. Like that's
Yeah.
how we learned. That's our sex ed.
Yeah.
So the joke was, I'm going to start a menopause conference and call it Menopolooza.
Because of after what was
The
that?
Lollapalooza,
Lollapalooza, yeah.
the kind of, and I have a background. I was a riot girl in the 90s and a kind of a
Okay.
punk rock movement where we DIY'd everything. And so we
Yeah.
are DIYing our healthcare.
Yes.
And that's the lens it came from. We're DIYing our healthcare. We're cobbling it together. We're trying to learn about it on internet forums.
totally.
So the
And
concept,
not a lot of information was going on
No.
even
No.
a short time ago.
No.
Mm-mm.
an absolute black hole.
Yeah.
So again, it started as that. I was like, I'm going to do a menopause. And then I was like, I'm going to do a menopause conference.
Yeah,
and
you
call it
are.
Menopolooza.
Yeah, you are.
So I called Tracey, and I was like, Tracey, are you available this weekend? And I move quickly.
I know you do. I know
I
you do.
don't. I don't. Another reason why this pairing works.
Yes.
Thinker, doer.
Yeah.
Like,
That's perfect.
Oh, it works over. So we just decided to set the stage. Really, it was I feel like what we did is I wanted to create a party that I wanted to go to.
Yes.
I wanted
I should write that.
I
down.
wanted it to be fun and informative. I feel like we learn best when we're having fun.
We had so much
We
fun.
had so much fun. There was
And
we laughed,
the
we cried.
community.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was incredible. So we set the conditions, is what I feel like. We set the conditions, and our speakers just arrived, and most of the speakers that we had reached out to me and said, I want to be part of this.
I don't know. I cannot recall how. I think I saw a poster or something, and I was already doing the podcast. I'm like, oh my god, it's a Menopolooza. Like I'm like,
need to be a part of this.
like what is happening? Like
Mhm.
this, the world like was shaking. I'm like, it's happening. It's happening.
Mhm.
We are doing this, ladies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I still feel like that today.
Yeah.
Especially today, really. So then the wheels start.
The wheels start turning. We kind of caught lightning in a bottle. It
Oh,
just
you did.
sparked and came together. And
Yeah.
it was so. The women that we talked to, there was two big pieces of feedback. I
Mhm.
felt so validated.
Oh yeah,
Was one piece of it. It changed my life.
yeah.
Was another part.
The
that we-
testimonials were incredible.
incredible. And to me, I love that, and it simultaneously breaks my heart
Aw.
because we're changing life by information.
Yeah.
This is information that we decided to knock down the doors to.
That's why we're doing the podcast.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
why this podcast came into being, because I was doing very small, intimate gatherings.
Mhm.
which was, as you know, how much work
Yeah.
goes into it. Doesn't matter the size. You still have to, all it's a process. So I'm like, first, it was accessibility was my biggest issue. Like, could women afford it? I had to charge because I was paying my speakers, I was paying for a venue, but accessibility was that was like, how can I overcome this? And then thankfully we got the podcast, right? So thanks to StoryHive and TELUS for giving us that opportunity. It's been an incredible journey. So Menopolooza happened. Set the stage. Set the
Where do we start?
Oh God.
Yeah, so a 2-day event, our first event happened in September. We sold out. Incredible energy, magic energy.
fantastic.
Another part that we really, I'm very excited about, we were able to gather, I think the document's up to about 70 pages of data.
Yes.
Putting
Yes. Tell
together.
me about that.
So gathering what we did is through the lived experiences of women. It's a grounded theory research approach
Okay.
where we put out questions and had people answer them and ask questions as well. Like,
Yes.
what do you want to know?
Yeah.
What do you wish other people knew? What's missing? And so we're able to compile that into themes
Yeah.
around moving forward. And at all of our events moving forward, we'll have a research aspect to them because, again, there's a black hole.
That is imperative because data is what drives policy, and policy is what changes lives.
Yes.
One of the reasons we did the World Cafe and the research was because what's missing from the medical literature is women's lived experience.
Yeah.
Like the randomized controlled trial looking at hot flashes, like that's the symptom that gets studied because it's measurable and we
Right.
really like our measuring stick.
Yeah.
And
it's necessary to have
it is
in order
100%.
to take things to the next step.
But so many of the symptoms of menopause are invisible.
Yeah.
And hard to measure, like the symptom, I don't recognize myself. I feel like a stranger in my own body.
We hear that.
Yeah. And getting that requires you to believe women.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that long ago we were institutionalized for hysteria.
Right.
And so histrionic, psychosomatic, it's all in your head. They're there. That's part of the problem. So what we were hoping to do is validate women's experience and get them to share that with us so that we could actually go like, this is the reality of what women are experiencing. And it goes beyond the hot flash. You know, the Canadian Menopause Foundation did a study that most people are aware of that untreated menopause costs the Canadian economy $3.5 billion a year.
Which politicians pay attention to.
Yes, they do. And
so
it's
does
one of the
industry.
reasons BC wants to fund HRT.
Yeah.
But I have never put a woman off work for hot flashes.
Mm.
So even if the government pays attention, if we're not taking mental health in menopause seriously, that's what causes women to leave the workforce most of the time.
I've seen that.
Then it's very hard to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So what Bryn and I were hoping to do was take women's collective voices of what their experience is and try to bring that out into the light.
Yeah.
If it makes anybody feel better about not knowing about menopause, I'm a women's health expert.
Yeah.
When I went through menopause, I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah. Wow.
I wasn't trained for any
Really?
of that. I would limp to the bathroom in the morning. And when I went on estrogen, which nobody would listen to me, I was too young. And I'm talking to a family doctor who I have way more training than.
Yes.
And all she would offer me was antidepressants, which,
Oh, wow.
but it wasn't until I started getting horrible hot flashes that I actually got estrogen. But my ankle pain disappeared. And I was shocked. I was like, this is a thing? Like, nobody trained.
I didn't know that.
We didn't know that. But now there's papers out, musculoskeletal syndrome of menopause.
Yeah.
But back then, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
nobody was talking about that. So I felt like I got an extra special menopause education when I went through it myself.
Well,
And
you
then
do.
I understood
Yeah.
this is a lot more serious than I understood. And we have to change that.
Yeah. And I didn't even know I was experiencing menopause, but I had a very unique menopause in that I was grieving at the same time.
So we blame it on something else always.
And I just thought I was like in grief, right? And so when I came out of it and started to recognize myself again, that's when I went,
Wait a minute.
what was that?
Well, it's kind of like how most of us only recognize we had postpartum depression in retrospect.
Yeah, maybe.
We look back and go, oh, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Oh,
But at the time,
yeah.
you know, and that's part of the whole thing. But you just brought up something that I think is really critically important to
What's that?
say. So many women I talk to, especially when they're just going into perimenopause,
Yeah.
when something doesn't feel right inside ourselves,
Yeah.
we look outside ourselves to explain it. Maybe it's my stressful job, it's my partner, it's my
Oh,
kids,
good
it's my
point.
grief, it's my this, it's my that.
Yeah.
And is it menopause? Is it ADHD? Could it be this?
Yeah.
And when I hear that, I go, I'm just going to stop you.
Yeah.
It's yes and.
Okay.
Yes, you're in grief, and
Yeah.
menopause is making
Yeah.
it worse. Kind of like the call is coming from inside the house.
Inside the house.
Yeah, like trust your experience.
Yeah.
So this was part of the whole part of
Mm.
Menopolooza was
Yeah.
shining a bright light
And it was
on those things.
it was an epic, like it was
was
like
beautiful.
a sunbeam,
Yeah.
right?
Nobody wanted to leave.
No, I know. And that I actually heard a few women talking about, like, typically I would, as soon as a 2-day conference is over,
me outta
I
here.
want to go home and put on my pajamas. But
Mhm.
no.
No.
And I had so many women coming up to me afterwards, and as I'm sure you guys did too. And it was like, thank you. Like, thank you
Mhm.
so much. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for, just, like
Mhm.
Bryn, you must have had hugs,
Oh, it was we had
tears.
tears.
Yeah.
Yep, people didn't want to leave.
No.
They wanted to, which is why we have the next one lined up already.
I
for
know.
May.
I'm so excited. Menopolooza too.
Oh, and it is going 2.0. Like
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
May long weekend. We had to keep the momentum going and to create,
Yeah.
for me, the kind of trauma-informed lens
Yeah.
of we can't let these women down.
No.
We need to create that space and that container for us to keep moving forward
Yeah.
and keep the connection intact.
Yeah.
Because we kind of opened something up
Yeah.
here that
We
needs
sure have.
we sure have.
Yeah.
that needs to continue, and the support needs to continue. The
Yeah.
information needs to continue.
That's the one thing I really wanted to talk to you about, and also you, Tracey, but is about the creation of the community,
Mhm.
right? Which I'm a community organizer. I've been doing this work for a good portion of my life. And when you create community, you create change.
Mm. Mhm. Thank you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is, to me, really the value of Menopolooza is that, these women are coming together, they're staying together, they're talking, and we all know when women talk,
Mhm.
magic happens, right?
Mhm.
And not to say that when men talk, magic, I don't know, does it happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's just leave that subject
Hey,
alone.
we'll have a Menopolooza for men too. and see what
Yeah,
we can
maybe.
do.
Bryn's done she did an amazing job of creating this, I'm going to use a Gen Z word, vibe.
Oh, I love that word.
But it was raw authenticity.
Yeah.
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
But not shameful. A lot of women came alone
Mhm.
and didn't know
Yes.
anybody. And instantly it's like everybody else just sort of opened their arms and folded them in.
Yeah.
And women, they cried, they laughed, they shared.
They laughed a lot.
A
I
lot.
was really surprised. I was expecting a lot of tears.
Menopause is funny.
Well, we are funny.
You gotta
too.
laugh or you're gonna cry. Like, what
Yeah.
do you do, right?
Both.
Yeah, you do both.
You do both.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was so much, I would call it joy.
Yeah.
There was absolute joy in that room, in that there was like acknowledgement, and I'm feeling emotional about it.
Every time we talk about it, yeah.
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 It was really special.
Because it is emotional, because a lot of the women who came into that room, and many of the participants shared this with me,
Mm-hmm.
they've experienced medical dismissal,
Mm-hmm.
outright
Big-
gaslighting,
Big problem.
and sort of this, patronizing pat on the head. This is what women go through. So several women came there feeling like there's no hope. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going here to learn, but like,
Yeah.
and then started to realize, oh my gosh, like, there's so much more to this, and there's actually people who are supporting this, and it felt like somebody threw them a lifeline.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge you as the person who I felt did such a great job. I mean, all of the experts were fantastic. I've had a few of them on the show since, so I'm really appreciative of that. But you were throwing so many lifelines the whole weekend, and that was fantastic. It was a little bit different for me because I'm kind of like out of the HRT realm. We're going to talk about that
Yeah.
in the future, but and maybe for another episode about
Sure.
women such as myself who never had hormone replacement. And I'm 62 now, and I'm like, so we'll talk about that another time. Going back to the topic of creating community. So I have here in my notes, we talked about the reach of the event, which has been pretty astronomical, and the ripple effect that it has created. So maybe you can talk about the reach and the ripple.
I feel kind of coming back to it, we created the conditions, and you named it, Tracey opening in the way that Tracey does.
Stellar.
Create, instead of having a hierarchy where
Yeah.
people felt like you are the doctor, I am the patient, you
Yeah.
are the,
Yeah.
there was a real sense of togetherness
Yeah.
and belonging.
Yeah.
And again, we created the conditions for that, but every participant, every speaker contributed to that. So the ripple effect is happening through people's, again, their experiences of being a part of that event.
Yes.
And then sharing it with community members. We've had people as far away as New York reach out to us saying, I've heard about your event.
What?
Yeah.
Like, go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And part of that, which just was born out of the event itself, was that, and this wasn't something that I'd really thought too much about before going into it, but we are not anti-aging. We are pro-aging.
Oh, I'm pro-aging.
Right?
I love my age.
Yeah. We're body, not just positive, we're body inclusive, body positive, pro-aging. So we're not telling people you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You need to take this supplement. You need to do more yoga. You need to exercise. You need to you need to do
which women already get enough.
The line is, you're not doing it wrong.
You're not doing it wrong. So the name of my talk that I gave at Menopolooza was Menopause, You're Not Doing It Wrong.
Right.
Because you're not.
Sorry.
Yeah. The idea of, if I just could figure it out, if I did it better, I wouldn't be struggling so much, instead of understanding this is a natural biological process. Yeah. And yes, we're going through it. What ways can we support ourselves and each other?
Right.
Each other.
Yeah.
Through this. And I think we wanted to take a typical medical conference and turn it on its head.
And you did.
We did.
You succeeded. I've never been to a typical medical conference. But
like watching paint
I
dry.
can only imagine. imagine.
Menopolooza was not boring.
No.
It was not a dull
and the
moment.
food.
All right. I know. Yes. That's where I just want to say that we need any point of, myself having worked in mental health for 25 years, we need innovation.
Yes.
We need innovation in women's health care.
I'm going to write that down, because I'm going to, now you've given me a new task. How can we innovate?
Yeah.
And I have ideas about that. I think I mentioned to you that I'm hoping we can do some filming for the next event, which, can you repeat when the next Menopolooza is and the dates and all of that?
Menopolooza.
Yes. Right.
Menopolooza 2 will be at Carson Hall at the Victoria Conference Center, May long weekend. We're doing a reception Friday evening
Okay.
where we're bringing back in, we brought in a graphic facilitator, as you remember,
Oh, yeah.
which is
She was.
incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to bring those maps back into the room so people can see all of our work that we did in Menopolooza
Oh, I
1
love
visually.
that.
These maps are 7 feet
Oh,
by
I
4
love
feet,
that.
and we captured the
They're
data.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we'll do a reception Friday evening, then a full day Saturday, Sunday, Saturday. There's going to be a roper romp.
Okay.
saying.
What is a roper romp?
Okay,
Tracey,
I
Ron?
want to talk about this. Three's Company. I grew up on Three's Company,
Okay.
and that it just teams with the Gen X thing.
Yeah.
So Helen Roper was Stanley Roper's wife. Caftans, red curly hair, beads, the whole bit. So this is a thing
Sounds like my
where
grandmother.
people get
actually.
together and they dress up like Helen Roper and they do like pub crawls and stuff.
Okay.
But we're going to do better menopause care for women. So picture 500 Helen Ropers
Oh, fantastic.
marching through downtown Victoria.
Oh
Like
my
that
God.
is going to be the most fun and amazing thing ever. Like
Stanley's can join us too.
we did a mini Roper romp
Mhm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we spread sunshine and joy all over downtown Victoria. And it was 12 of us.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's magical. So
Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah.
everybody in our generation knows Three's Company.
Okay.
So it should be just a really
So
fun
fun.
event.
Yeah.
People from the community are welcome to join us.
Oh,
You don't have to
Even better.
Yeah, we don't need a ticket to Menopolooza to be a Helen or a Stanley
I love
for
it.
our roper romp. And that will
Oh.
take place on Saturday evening. More details to come. The details for the tickets, for the schedules can be found at menopolooza.com.
Menopolooza.com. I just want to
Mhm.
double stress that.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going into our second year of Menopolooza, and I'm sure you have lots of visions for the future. I want to congratulate you on just probably one of the most, I don't want to cry again or choke up, truly one of the most special events that I've ever attended in my life. And I've been around. I've seen some
It's
things.
not your first rodeo.
It was really like a light was cast where there had only been darkness.
Mhm.
I think most of the women felt that, right?
100%,
Yeah.
Kelly. That's
Yeah.
such a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we brought people out of the dark and into the light, but
Yeah.
we all held hands and sang songs while we did it.
We did, and we
We
danced.
did. We
Mhm.
danced. We laughed.
Danced.
It was
more
beautiful.
dancing. I vote for
Oh, there will
more
be more
dancing.
dancing.
There
Yeah.
will be more dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And I hear maybe we might have some celebrities, but
Potentially. We'll
Potentially.
yes. TBA.
Should be
Yeah.
announced.
TBA. Oh, that's exciting. So, I'm just looking at my notes. We have a lot of ground to cover. And on that note, I think we're going to probably do another session with you guys because I think that it almost applies to the whole Menopolooza conversation or the menopause. Oh, sorry, I've just created a whole new word. It applies to this whole conversation as we're only at the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. And I'm seeing it now with just attitudes about hormonal health
Mhm.
and for the younger women, especially like
Mhm.
tapping into their hormonal journey that happens every single month.
Mhm.
And this was new information for me. And now I'm starting to see it
Mhm.
on the, the socials and
Mhm.
people are talking about it. And it's like,
about
hallelujah.
time.
I am so, I have 4 grand girls and I call them the grand girls. I think that's very witty of me. And they're going to benefit
Yeah.
from
Of
the
course
work
they
that
are.
is being done now. Like our mothers and our grandmothers,
No.
they did not have this.
They
and
were the suck it up buttercup generation too, right?
totally.
Yeah. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Mhm. But there is an entire generation of women.
Mhm.
You would be at the younger edge of that that were the post
Oh,
WHI
yeah, I know.
who are now way past menopause and now just learning that what they were told was a lie for example, we did an event, and at the Q&A, a woman in her 70s stood up.
Okay.
She was so emotional.
Yeah.
And she said when she went through menopause, she was told hormones are dangerous. They'll give you cancer. You shouldn't take them, because she went through menopause right after the WHI.
Right.
And she said, I haven't slept.
Can you, just for our
20
viewers, explain what
Oh, the
WHI?
Women's Health Initiative, which was the study that the media highlighted, the
Yes.
Breast Cancer Association, and everybody lost their minds. And then a whole residency programs stopped teaching about menopause. So now we have a whole group of physicians who aren't trained.
Yeah.
But what she said was, I haven't slept in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
My life has been destroyed by menopause, and now I'm learning that it was all a
Wow.
lie.
No wonder she was emotional.
And she said, I can't get that back.
Yeah.
And like the room
Oh,
felt her pain,
Mhm.
and she's amongst thousands and
Yes.
thousands.
I would venture to say millions,
Mhm.
because right now there are over 1 trillion women either in perimenopause or menopause.
Billion.
I think I read 1 trillion.
No, there's only like 9 billion people on the
Oh, okay. Then it's a billion.
planet. We can fix that.
I'm going to fact check that.
But it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So, one of the things that I've learned about the monthly hormonal journey, that was new information that I was like, "Ah, I can't believe that we were not told this."
Mhm.
I mean, we knew about PMS.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
Premenstrual syndrome.
Syndrome, yeah. But that was it. And you were just a, capital B
Yeah.
in that week.
Mhm.
Anyways, I want to end on a highlight, as because menopause can be it can be
It's the perfect example of duality.
okay.
You know how you wouldn't know light if you didn't have dark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
menopause is like this. It can be this horrible, debilitating, life-altering, horrible symptoms, life
Yeah.
falling apart process.
Yeah.
And you're you're deconstructing who you've been taught to be,
Yes.
and starting to come home to yourself
Yeah.
and figure out who you really are.
Yeah.
And most women come out the other side stronger, better, more grounded, more beautiful, wiser than they went in.
Bravo.
But you've got to go through the dark forest
Yeah.
to get to that. So it's like this double-sided coin
Yeah.
of beauty and pain, of transformation and destruction.
Yeah.
And if we can value and respect and honor both sides of that coin,
Yeah.
that's how you do full menopause care,
I love that.
right?
I love
Yeah.
that, Tracey. Thank
Yeah.
you. That was. Can we have that on tape now, so we
Mhm.
can put it onto
There you go.
yeah, that was beautiful.
We don't talk about the beautiful aspects of menopause
do.
nearly enough.
I
in
try.
medicine and in life in general. Like
Yeah.
women, we tend to focus on the tougher aspects of
Yeah.
it. But the problem is when you're going through the dark forest, if somebody tells you, oh, but there's beauty on the other side, you're like, pound sand. I'm like dying over here. So sometimes you can't see that light coming when you're going through
Yeah.
the dark.
Yeah.
But we all get there, you know?
I'm hearing you loud and clear,
Yeah, I
because
know
you
you
and I
are.
talked about
Yes, we
talk
did.
about this a lot.
Yeah.
I want to thank you both. We're gonna do another session because we have to.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We have so much more to talk about.
We do.
But I want to thank you both for joining us today, and I want to thank the viewers also for joining us, because if you haven't heard about Menopolooza, plug into it, menopolooza.com.
.com.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And Menopolooza.
I can't believe that wasn't taken.
I know, right?
And Menopolooza is MENOPOLOOZA.
Very.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I would have probably put an A.
Yeah,
So people, so it's an O.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And thank you, Tracey, because
Yeah.
Bryn.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey, we see you. One of the things I think you contributed so much to Menopolooza.
Don't make me cry.
So maybe that's my goal, Kelly, was your reminder, be gentle,
Oh,
Be
yeah.
gentle.
Yeah.
Slow down. You don't have to do all of the things. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
And you said it more than once. And it was like this beautiful reminder that we don't have to climb the hill. We can sometimes slow down and honor ourselves. And that message was really important.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm. We're
Oh.
really glad you were there.
Right?
You're coming back, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And please tune in to our next episode because Bryn and Tracey are going to be back.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right. What do you think, Deb?
Aren't we awesome?